So we've completed the transaction tab to the best of our ability. Usually when you're completing these sections, you can press next to move on. Often it will automatically save your progress or ask you if you want to save your progress. But if you're worried about losing that progress and you want to save it yourself, go to the top hand right hand top of the tab and press save. Similar to when we were doing a quote, we now look at products and fees. So you'll see the pricing here, etc. And you'll see a note that you can price blended or interchange plus plus. So let's now choose the product to go with the acquirer we've already selected. So here we go. We choose the Pax A920 Pro in this instance for this example. We price it. We cover the quantity of units. We decide, or we ask the merchant to decide if they wanted any extras that can be financed monthly, or they can indeed pay for these up front. On this particular example, I'm going to tick yes to a charging base and a SIM card. Add to basket. It reminds me what the commission total is there and tells me the details of the package that I've chosen. So here we look at the pricing of the cards. Now, if I was, for example, to go in too low on Visa debit, the system will very kindly warn me. And then we look at the sections again after we've set the card rates. We decide, do we need to disable or enable American Express? Disable or enable the cost of £3 for paper statements, if that's really what the merchant needs or doesn't need. And if faster payments either isn't needed or is irrelevant on this application, again, we can disable or enable that fee there. The site survey, it mentions it's new. This is for Elavon applications where you are doing the business face-to-face, so you're almost verifying the customer here. So let's look at the site survey section. This will negate the need for a few extra pieces of KYC, etc. Looking at the KYC section, I'm going to click on it now and it's going to demand that I save this application if I haven't done already. So here you'll see you can drag and drop files or browse for the information if you've got them to hand. We need the proof of home address. A utility bill for the business is going to be your POTA, your proof of trading address. Now, if a utility bill isn't available, if you have a HMRC document, for example, amongst others, or a copy of the signed wet signature lease, we can also use that, but that gives you an idea. Bank statement, self-explanatory. Anything additional that you might want to throw in here for our team to consider alongside your application, that's great. The photos of business inside and outside are not really needed unless you're conducting that site survey option. Again, relevant information. I'm not sure what would be relevant for you on a particular application, but if it is, type it up here. You might be giving direct instructions alongside this current application to our onboarding team, and they will pay close attention to that. And then when you press submit, you're going to get the chance to decide what type of hardware agreement. Now, because I've priced this particular hardware agreement at £21 times 2, that is going to fall into this particular hardware agreement. For notes on what kind of hardware agreements you should be sending out, those will always be detailed in your reseller pack that you are sent by email when you come on board. And of course, you can always reach out to your business support team. The MSA is also here. You've got a choice to send it. And then, of course, the option to submit the application straight to our team. Going to give you a tip here. If you're pretty fluent with this and you've been doing it a while and you're pretty confident you've got all of that information spot on because you're either very good or you've been told that you've done it wrong in the past, you can, of course, if you're very fluent with this, you can send the hardware agreement and the MSA before you actually submit. That saves a bit of time. However, if you're unsure if any of the information that you've got is correct or if this is one of your first few applications, why not just submit it to the team? They will review it, and once everything is classed as okay, those two aforementioned agreements can be sent out on your behalf.